Alright, here's hoping in like the 10 seconds it took for me to like restart my recording that it didn't fuck with anything and that my audio is still fine and crisp. So I think the topic I felt like discussing today was Ben 10. You know, all the way from the classic series to Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, and then some bits of Omniverse. Because growing up, I really liked the classic series. Seeing Kid Ben just transform into a bunch of aliens, take down Vilgax, like this green tentacle-looking dude, was hype as hell. And like especially like the small moments too, where like you'd see him unlock, or I guess I'll skip straight to the finale because that's what I remember most from it. Just like seeing him in the Null Void, and then just like he finally unlocks Master Control, so he's just like transforming at will. That's like one of the coolest scenes like you could probably ever see, where it's just like a character so well versed in his skill set that he's able to transform at will to whatever he needs the most. Just like imagine, I can't really put that into words without you knowing what the scene is, and I'm not gonna like actually go through and edit the scene on top of this, but yeah, I just can't describe it. It's just something that like go ahead and I guess it's gonna fuck with my watch time if I actually say that. But like after this video, when it's said and done, go look that scene up because it's really cool. But yeah, I think also with the original series, something I really enjoyed was the tie-in video game they had for the Wii. It was like Ben 10 Protector of Earth or some shit. I don't remember. All I know is it was like an arcade beat 'em up style game where like you go through the Grand Canyon as like forearms, I think, which is one of his aliens. It's like a big red dude, which man, I wonder what his main ability is. Like I could never tell just by the names of some of this shit. And that was like one of it. I think it was co-op too, so I'd occasionally play it with my brother. I don't remember if it was a game we bought originally or if it was just something we rented from the library. All I know is I'm pretty sure I have the physical copy still downstairs somewhere. So like if I ever decide for some reason to randomly like go out, buy a capture card fit for a Wii and then just like do that, or hint hint nudge nudge, we we do some degenerate acts of piracy. I mean emulation, you know. I just felt like legally taking the ISO from my disc and just transferring it to my computer. Yes, that's what I did. Not looking it up on like some reputable sites, you know? Yes, yes. So like that's mostly my experience with the original series. I think I also had like the original thing on CD. I could probably also still find that. There was like some other cool things like Ben 10,000 was like another notable episode. Obviously the pilot, which, you know, it's a lot cooler looking back once you've seen what happens in Omniverse. Just like that scene has more meaning, and to those who know, you like get it. And I'm sorry, bro, I'm kind of rambling, so like if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're gonna leave this video not knowing what the fuck I'm talking about. And I think that's just kind of the style of these kind of videos now. It's off the cuff for a reason. But after that, going into Alien Force, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really watch Alien Force that much. I think I tried watching like the first couple seasons. Maybe not even the first couple seasons. I just watched like the first maybe season of it, and then I'm not gonna lie, I got bored. Like people say watching, or they enjoy the progression from seeing like Ben go from this wide-eyed kid, or not wide-eyed kid, this arrogant little shit who like acts like a 10-year-old, but like he progresses into being a hero. And by the end of the series, like he's like grown, and then it's like roughly 5 years later he gives up the Omnitrix, and then like the watch that lets him turn into aliens and be a hero. And then like yeah, he's a different person, and like he acts more or less like a 15-year-old would. But I straight up thought it was boring, I'm not gonna lie, because it just feels like you stripped him of like some special sauce, and it's just like yeah, I get the whole point of just sometimes you want your characters to age and grow, but there's also such a thing as like you can keep the characteristics of what makes someone interesting while still like developing who they are as a person. And they just didn't hit that balance with Alien Force in my opinion. I don't I don't think I also watched enough of Ultimate Alien, which was the thing that happened afterwards, which is just pretty much the fourth season of Alien Force, to like actually be annoyed by it, seeing like him regress arguably from like being a 15-year-old to acting like a 10-year-old. But it's just like I would argue seeing someone more cocky and a bit arrogant is just more interesting to watch. I guess like from a fan perspective though, it would be more frustrating to see like, oh hey, you got really invested in this version and then for some reason randomly like 4 seasons in, they just like completely fuck the characterization of someone you like really liked. And yeah, I get that, but just like again, just from like a general audience perspective, I think I'd probably watch more Ultimate Alien shit than that, or just like I don't really want to speak to the quality because again I didn't watch that much. I might be talking about stuff that happened in Alien Force or either one and not fully know, but I just feel like there's just a bit more to do with a character like that rather than just be like I want to be a leader and like I acknowledge my failures. And it's just like you can still have that, but just give him some more personality, you know. There's a such thing as like being vulnerable but still like being fun to watch. I can't like list any characters off the top of my head, but like those characters exist. I think maybe like Kid Flash, or like I guess maybe even Spider-Man, where it's like, yeah, they're responsible, but they still crack jokes every now and then, and because they're like interesting and fun to watch. And so, I guess the next progression after Ultimate Alien and Alien Force would be Omniverse. Omniverse was controversial because they changed the art style. People want to say animation. They didn't change the animation. They changed the art style. But it's I honestly really like the art style for Omniverse. I think it's like a good, not good blend. Like it's unique in its own way, but like I think it works for what the show is, and just like I liked a lot of the designs for a lot of the characters. I thought like Professor Paradox was pretty cool. I liked Ben's design. I'm not okay. Yeah, I say this and then like I'm about to immediately backpedal this because I did not care for Gwen's design. I think it was a downgrade. Like I see what they were trying to do, but like, yeah, I think it's just a downgrade, bro. Like Ultimate Alien and like Alien Force had a good design. And just like I could see what they were trying to do by like making a bit more like classic, but dude, they didn't really make, okay, I guess they kind of did make Ben's design more classic-y, but I don't know, I just didn't really fuck with it. That's like maybe one of the few designs I can like point at and be like, yeah, I don't really care for that. I guess also some of his aliens too. But okay, in general, I like the art style and like the direction they took. And it had some banger episodes, like what was it? And then there was Ben was really good and really interesting. Like a line that still sticks with me that I remember to this day is like, it's just a gadget, be the hero. Because the whole plot of the thing is just like there's this guy who's rounding up all these other Bens in the show and just he's like trying to erase all of them because I don't remember if it was Vilgax or Eon. It might have been Eon. He's just trying to get rid of them because he's just like their sworn enemy and he wants to like take over time or some shit. I don't fully remember his motivations. But like as part of that, there's a version of Ben who doesn't have like the power that he was bestowed and that like he's known for. He doesn't have the Omnitrix. Most people just call him No Watch Ben. And so I think we follow along his journey for a decent amount of time before we're like introduced to like Prime Ben and then like the stakes of the episode. And just like other Bens try their best to stop what's going on and like what will eventually be the end of it, but they aren't capable. And it's just like the only person left in the out of all the other alternative Bens, either by the I think it was the end of the episode, is just the one without a watch. So you just see the character that you like followed for roughly maybe I don't even know how long it was. A lot of seasons. I'll just say a lot of seasons and like a lot of years just fucking die. And then you just like feel the weight of it, but you also feel like the power of it. Because again, that line just hits hard. Just imagine never having that responsibility, never having that power, not knowing you can be that, maybe even having some self-doubts. But then like another version of you who's been doing it, who's been a hero, who's like been more than you can ever think of, and like saved the world countless times. Trust in you to save the day and like make it right. Because at the end of the day, I like the core philosophy that um it is just a gadget, that what makes you unique or like what makes you heroic is truly your own efforts and like what you do with the responsibilities and powers you have and the skill sets you have. And that's just like one of the messages I keep to this day. So yeah, that was me rambling about Ben 10. Hope you enjoyed hearing it.